Um, I want to start out by talking about this awesome slide that BuzzFeed published in March. And we now know that social and search have flipped. And this was a study done across 200 media organizations. Now more people are finding information and activity through social media. So Upworthy is a company, we're just almost a year and a half old. We're the fastest growing media site of all time. The way that we've done that is by focusing exclusively on social media. And so I want to talk about the 3 principles we use for packaging content in a social media context. Number 1, looks really matter. So this is the grocery store principle. I want you guys to, the next time you're in a grocery store, watch the way that people make their selections. As much as we would love it if people read the ingredients first, they don't, right? You scan the shelves for the packaging that you like, and you make your consumer decision based on that. And that's also how people are making decisions about what kind of media that they want to consume. So Upworthy focuses on the packaging. This is a case study that we did. It was the exact same piece of content. It was a piece of content about wage equality. So same nutritional value in the content, right? But packaged in 2 different ways. This headline, remember Planet of the Apes, it's closer to reality than you think, got 10,000 page views. And 2 monkeys were paid unequally, see what happens next, got 2 million page views. So packaging really, really matters. Of the packaging, the element that's the cheapest and easiest to optimize is by far the headline. So Upworthy writes 25 headlines for every piece of content that we do. We're known for that. We're obsessive about the headline. And why is that? Because in this case study, this was an awesome, awesome video about marriage equality. Zach Wallace Speaks About Family got 1 million views. And when it was reran with a different headline, 2 lesbians raised a baby, and this is what they got, it got 15 million views. So this might be a really unorthodox headline, I'm guessing, for a lot of people in the room. But I just want to pose a question. If 11 words is the difference between 14 million more people seeing your content, is it worth it to spend some more time on it? Second principle is the messenger matters. So I'm sure a lot of us in the room have been accused of preaching to the choir. And it's not about preaching to the choir, as we know. It's about helping the choir to sing better, right? To evangelize the message and bring everybody else in. Your primary audience is your reader's friends, not your reader. That's a key principle in social media. So you and I, everybody in this room can talk until we're blue in the face, but we know, particularly with the issue of mental health issues, that unless people start perceiving that their own community, their own friends, their own family are okay with these issues, nothing's going to change. So nothing's going to change unless we can get our audiences and the people that already like our work to evangelize this to our friends. So to do that again, it sort of brings us back to the headline. The headline is the best place to enable this to happen. You really need to customize your headlines for which context you're working in. Why? Social media is about socially defining ourselves to other people. So when you're writing headlines for social media context, there has to be some kind of opinion, some kind of a point of view, some way to define who you are, or else people aren't going to share your content. This slide is really the key to virality. This is the key to virality, is will I spread it and share it with other people if I believe in what it's saying? So this kind of leads into our final point, which is context matters. Facebook and social media and Twitter, it's a party. It's not class, it's a party. All your friends are there, all your family's there, you're having a good time, it's fun, you're talking. This is sort of my classic case study example of this. This is New York Times op-ed on hunger. And I'm someone who cares a lot about hunger. And looking at this, this is exactly the kind of piece that I would want to read. Now let's look at it in the context of my social feed. And all of a sudden it looks really different, right? It's like competing. This is actually my Facebook feed. It's competing with my friends' engaging photos. It's competing with the way that they talk. So I just want to read to you. So this is what the New York Times said in their status update, right? He cites that 46 million Americans currently receive government assistance to buy food, though many more are eligible and others turn to food banks, which have been hard hit by cutbacks. That text is competing with this. It's going to be a hot and sweaty Zumba class tonight. Business cards making me feel like a real boy since 10 minutes ago. And I would read the shit out of this comic, okay? The New York Times just lost me. I am done. I care way more about hunger than I do about comics, but I'm sorry. This thing that my friend said, I just have to click it. It's created a curiosity gap. I want to know. And so you just lost me here. A lot of times people will say to me, like, Sarah, how do I get my thing to stand out? You know, we're in the information overload age. And I just want to say, oh, goodness, that's what you're doing wrong. Like, stop standing out, you know? Like, you're the person that showed up to the party in the suit and tie, and everyone thinks you're the weird kid and doesn't want to talk to you about your issue. And so sort of customizing for the context you're in is something that I think is one of the most important things that we can do as people talking about really important issues. When you go to a party on Saturday night, it's not that you can't talk about hunger. It's not that you can't talk about mental health and LGBT issues. But it's more informal, right? So match the context where you're at, and it's easier to talk about these issues. So this is my fancy math. Upworthy is a data-driven culture. So anyway, I'd like to propose that we shift our thinking from feeling like the impact lives inside of our content and shift it into thinking that the impact is about content plus packaging. Oftentimes, it's also plus distribution. I think that if we can shift a little bit in this way without changing the content or the messages that we're doing, but just changing the packaging, we have a huge opportunity. And the opportunity is this. We're going to reach young people, and we're going to reach people who, frankly, don't really even care about mental health issues in the environment where they live. And the way that we do that is we reach them through the most credible messengers that they have, which is their friends. It's not you or I, right? It's their friends. And I think that we can prove there's a huge appetite for mental health content and activity if it's packaged right. All the examples that I gave were on separate issue sets, but we have seen huge gain in interest and activity in mental health issues as well. So we're really excited as a curational operation to partner with you all making content and helping you to package it and make it go further. Thanks.